Parents of Reddit, what are some of the strangest things you have heard your children say while gaming? Son was 5 and just started playing Minecraft, and it wasn't words I heard, but deep, guttural, soul-destroying weeping. The type you try to keep quiet. I ran in. He wouldn't talk to me, just kept playing. Tears the size of my thumb streaming down his cheeks, bottom lip shaking. Eventually, he told me he was swinging his axe to cut a tree, and it hit the dog he tamed, killing it. He was devastated and guilt-ridden. His 4-year-old mind didn't quite grasp he wouldn't get in trouble in real life, and he was in turmoil because it was an accident. But he was so sad he had killed his dog and he thought he was going to be in big trouble. I just gave him a big hug till he let go and told him it was okay. Accidents really do happen and to be careful with his axe next time. His sister showed him how to respawn a new dog. We laugh now, but at the time it really got him in the feels. A friend's son, while playing in his room with his mate, said, "The flea market is not a good place to buy guns, bro. You need to kill people in order to buy them from the traders. Is more cheap." Yeah, I know, fucking Russians ripping us off, right? I had to explain to my friend the game he was playing for 20 minutes to understand it, and stop freaking out about his son becoming a terrorist. He was playing Escape from Tarkov. My daughter was 6 or 7 at the time I beat Red Dead Redemption 2, and she likes horses. She saw me riding a horse a lot and wanted to play. Why not right? I mean, outside storyline, not a lot of cussing, and I get the violence aspect of it, but there is so much room to roam without much risk. Not even 5 minutes and she hits a guy with a horse full speed while he was repairing his wagon. She winces, "Oh no, I better go check on him." She walks over, notices, and then takes his stuff, saying, "Well, I guess he won't need this anymore." Someone see her, she gets scared, picked up the body and went to the horse, threw the body on the horse and took off. Now this is where I got a little worried. My daughter found a cliff and threw the body off, but it was in front of a house with a dog that kept barking. She pulled out the gun, killed the dog, because they wouldn't shut up, and the owner came out, started shooting at her. This little psycho turns to me and tells me, well, they all have to die now. Kills the owner, kills his wife, and kills a passerby that saw it all. Without missing a beat, she began grabbing their stuff and throwing the bodies off the cliff. She has not played it since. 15 minutes in and she has already killed 4 people, a dog, and threw the bodies off a cliff. Not apparent, but once while playing the first Red Dead Redemption, and my friend told me that you could shoot and kill your horse. Naturally, my naive, young self didn't believe it and shot my horse point blank in the head while riding full speed. It did a front flip and died immediately before I screamed angrily that I was going to fuck my friend with a broomstick. Got grounded for 2 months for that. Not a parent, but a brother. I started gaming, and my brothers go into gaming around the same age, 10 years old. But now I don't play as much, but my brothers do. Well, one day the youngest brother was playing on his Xbox One and I can hear him. He was getting his ass kicked and I can hear you, bitch, come on, I shot first. This is bullshit. But there was one comment I heard that made me think, what the frick is going on? And the comment was, "If you kill me one more time, I'm going to suck your dick." And I just sat there thinking like, yes, me and boys do gay stuff on the gaming console, mainly just moaning or "come on daddy, that's it." But using the term "I'll suck your dick" as a threat never happened. Not so much a thing she said as a thing she did. But she did explain it to me. Several years ago, my now 16-year-old daughter was playing The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker. We had a thing where we would start the game at the same time, each on our own file, and play together, sort of. Well, a few days in, I noticed I had made significant progress. You can see it on the file select screen, but she had hardly done anything, and yet she had put in multiple hours every day. This was unusual for her. She's always been good at these games. So finally I asked her about it. She was still on the first island. There's a pig on the island. She was spending all that time sneaking up on the pig, grabbing it, throwing it in the ocean, and watching it swim back to shore. Lather, rinse, repeat. A few nights ago, my 15-year-old son was playing a game in his room, online with his friends. I was minding my own business when I hear a panicked voice from the bedroom yelling, "Mom, M-O-M-M-M, Mom, M-O-M-M-M, H-H-H." Thinking the house was on fire or some other dire emergency was taking place, I ran to his room. He looks at me confused, takes one ear out of his headset and says, "I was yelling, Mom," and continues on like I'm a weirdo. Not a parent, but I am a son. And I'll admit, one of the weirdest things that I've said, not knowing my mom was right next to me. After someone killed me in Warzone, I shouted at the top of my lungs, "You deserve to be gangbanged by handicapped furries, you special dick weed," or something along those lines. Still proud of it to this day. Not the parent, but my mom came in after I said get clapped, you human equivalent to a misquote. You sound like you have a third nipple and you like frosted sugar cookies. Her face looked confused, concerned, and a little worried all at once. Not the parent, but my mom came in after I said get clapped, you human equivalent to a misquote. You sound like you have a third nipple and you like frosted sugar cookies. Her face looked confused, concerned, and a little worried all at once. My son plays prison boss in VR. His mother and I have chatted with him when he was rolling cigarettes or making jailhouse hooch, but one day I walked by and asked how the black market booze business was going, and he said, "Not selling vices at the moment, Dad, just writing some erotic fiction for the cell block. That game would be horrifying if the characters didn't look like eggs and stand in one spot." When my son was around 11, he got kicked off of one Minecraft server for advertising another that he and some others started playing on, trying to get people to leave one for the other. Then he was pleading, then threatening, to get unbanned. This is what he left them on their message boards. "You guys are amusing sometimes, but now I say once more to unban me or Cindy K's place will grow above yours and Mutt's world will crumble to dust and you hobos will have no more place in Minecraft." He'll be 20 in a couple of weeks and I still tease him about this. My 10-year-old, while playing niche, was very upset after hours evolving and establishing a sizable pack of creatures only to experience a catastrophic event that wiped out all her creatures except one. Of course we gave her our sympathy, and after she'd got over the initial frustration she explained to us that we shouldn't worry. She thinks she can fix everything just as long as she can find a horny male. After the initial shock one time I was in the car with my mum as a kid and I was trying to explain something and I was playing a lot of Tony Hawk Underground at the time, and those soundtracks were always insane. The song Masturbate Your Brain by Sage Francis was in one of those games, and I used that term in all seriousness and collective thought that 11-year-old can muster, and she stopped me dead and asked me if I knew what that word even meant. Proceeded to be the weirdest Dunkin' Donuts drive-thru experience. My life wouldn't trade it for the world. So I had to look after a 9-year-old whilst my brother's girlfriend went into labor on New Year's Eve. I figured the best thing to do was set him up on Fortnite. That'll keep him busy. I go upstairs to check on him, and he's dropping the hard R and more well-versed in swearing than I've ever seen. I decided that he needed some parenting. After I'd explained why he was never to do that again, I promised to check in with his parent. His response was to run downstairs, stare at the fridge, and cry. When I eventually went to check on him, he said, "What's the point in playing games if I can't fucking swear?" He's improved dramatically, but honestly, I still worry about him. He's not being appropriately parented. He has the TV on all night, or he can't get to sleep and is constantly tired because he's watching the TV till 1 a.m. He cried and stood in front of the fridge again when he had to leave. Suddenly, he wants me to be his parent. If I could have, I would have. I wonder if he's got separation anxiety or is reacting to previous abuse. But maybe it's just his way of manipulating and getting what he wants. I don't know. When my godson was really young, he'd get frustrated and just word vomit random nonsense playing Super Smash Bros. Or Minecraft. My favorite was after taking one of He Lives, he just starts doing his jibber jabber thing and came out with freaking driving Miss Daisy ass. Funny thing is, he'd never seen the movie, or to my knowledge been exposed to it at all. It's just a random phrase he heard somewhere sometime, and when those synapses were firing on all cylinders, he'd just blurt out random nonsense to avoid swearing. Funny stuff. Another good one was my niece was like 4 when GTA 5 came out, and her dad and I got it on release. She wanted to play with us, so I let her run around in the very beginning to go look at cows and drive a car, but then I told her I wanted to play and she couldn't watch. Naturally, she's disappointed and wants to stay up, so she asks why, and I just tell her it has a lot of grown-up words. And then, super cheery and confident, almost proud of herself, she goes, "Oh, that's okay. I know all the cuss words, like 15 fucks." I couldn't help but crack up. I'll speak for my mother on this one because I know she laughed when I said it. This was back when Advanced Warfare first came out. Being a female and playing Call of Duty, obviously I got some shit from dudes all the time, like teabagging my dead body. You know, normal dude things. I can't remember what this guy did or said to me, but it lit a fire under my ass and I was gonna start wrecking him. Like, specifically ran around the map looking for him. Finally got him, and the first thing that pops out of my mouth is "get taco dipped, bitch." I was still crouching over his corpse when he found me again. My mom came in and started laughing as soon as she looked at the screen and goes, "I was wondering what the hell you were talking about." Not a child, but my friend one time was playing Dead Space 2 and there's a section with a ton of baby and toddler zombies. My buddy takes them all down after being swarmed in size and goes, "I don't wanna fuck a baby, but if I have to I will." Not a parent, but I was walking down the hall when I heard my brother say, "Oh, you think you're so cool? We'll see how cool you are when I put you in the freezer."
Bye.